What is going on, everybody? Nesh here, and today I'm going to be showing you some of the better hiding spots and peek holes for the Skyscraper map. So there's a lot of good hiding spots that not a lot of people know about, and I'm here to show you them. So starting off, the first spot that you probably do not know about is the one at the front door of the Skyscraper map. So if you go right behind these plants, it's a pretty much simple hiding spot. But if you try to break this tall grass or reed, however you want to call it, you can go literally in the safe where you cannot get easily spotted. So you just dug out the way into the reed itself. So once you're here, there's absolutely no way that the enemy can spot you that easily, even if they try to go from the angles, and not even drones can spot you as easy. So once the enemy tries to go in, you can just shoot them from this angle or from the angle to the right if you're leaning to the right. So yeah, this spot is pretty much simple, but if you want to go outside, you have to go prone. So even if you go crouch, you cannot go outside unless you break the reed itself. The same can be done from the right side, of course, and it's just pretty simple. Just whack the reed on the right and dig in the way towards the front part of the front door. So yeah, this is just one of the hiding spots that I found that are pretty good against the enemies. Now, as for my second hiding spot that also people just walk by and do not even notice is the one next to the door near the bedroom. So if you whack this reed, or even if you can shoot it, it's probably a faster way to do it. So once you do that, you have a vault option. So you have to break all the reed that's in front of you. So once you get to this part, you just fall into this little hole right here and wait the enemies that want to push in. So usually enemies do what they normally do is just they go from the right side or their left side and try to push on the door to the right. And almost nobody looks on the left of the door because they wouldn't be expecting an enemy to hide. And as Caveira is really small of an operator, it is pretty easy to get a kill on the enemy that's lurking near the door. The same can be done with the reed right here near the bathroom of the B side. So if you go right here and break all the reed, of course you'll get your vault action, and just go prone behind the reed itself. Go a little bit forward so your feet do not show itself to the enemies, and just wait for enemies to push from left or the right, wherever they're going from. So it's a pretty easy spot for an operator like Caveira to hide behind this spot. Okay, now that I've done all the basic stuff with Caveira hiding behind the reed, there's a little bit more of a complicated shield vaulting trick that you can use to climb spaces that you usually cannot. So once you put the shield between the table and the shelf itself, try to go and sprint over the shield and just get over to the last part of it or the edge of it and just vault. And once you do that, you are on the top of the shelf, which is pretty crazy. Not a lot of people do know about this trick. And this can make your life easier when defending something like T-room or maybe even other sites and you're just expecting the enemy to push. So yeah, this is just one of the spots that you can use shield vault to get some amazing hiding spots. As for my other amazing hiding spots that you can use your shield to do it is the bathroom itself beneath the tea room or next to the kitchen. So if you put your shield right in front of the little table right here, you can try to get as close as you can to it until you get the vault option. And once you get the vault option, you can jump on the table itself. And this is especially good if you're playing an operator that has a shotgun like Frost or, let's say, Bandit or Jaeger. It's pretty good because the enemy will not get a clear shot on you until they move their mouse completely to the right. And even if they do, the shotgun would probably get them before they even try to shoot you. So it's a pretty dirty spot to have. But if you don't have a shield, one of the also dirty spots that you can use for bathroom is here. So using this reed right here, if you break it completely, you can just go behind this spot right here and just go prone and wait for the enemies to push. So once the enemies try to push the bathroom, they will try to look into the last part of the bathroom itself, but because there's reed in front of you, they will not see you clearly. So if they try to peek right here, you can just try shooting them down and they will not know what has just gotten them. So it's a pretty dirty spot to have. Also, one of the good spots that you can use while defending the bathroom and the window itself is using these tables here. So if you mark the window itself, right here and try to make a few holes to see right at the window itself. So once the enemy, tries to go on, you will properly gun them down and they will not know what has gotten them again. Because if you look at this hole right here, it looks like it was made by the default on the map. So even if the enemy is trying to see if there's an enemy, they will not see it. So once you do that, you can just spray them down and kill them. Of course, if you make too many holes in the table, it'll make a big hole, so probably you will be noticed easily. So try to make as few as you can before, the enemy tries to go in. Now, as for some of the really dirty peek holes that you can make, the first one that I wanted to show you is the one that you can make right beneath this door when you're guarding the tea room. So usually the enemy tries to push this door. You just break the door right here, and right before that, of course, put the barbed wires. So if the enemy tries to go in, you'll see them trying to go across the barbed wire and just shoot them from below. So if you mark right here, the spot right here is just beneath the bathroom. So even if the enemy is trying to push the bathroom or the kitchen itself, you can guard that also. But what's more important is that, once the barbed wire is laid down, there is absolutely no way the enemy will notice you if you're down here. So one of the good spots, is right here. Try to put the barbed wire and just wait for the enemy to push in. Just blow their brains out. Also, one of the good spots to defend when you're defending the tea room or just the B side is to put the barbed wire right beneath the window, or if you're frost, put the frost mat down. Just lay down here underneath this little table and wait for the enemy to push in. So if they're trying to go in, they'll probably first shoot the frost trap, but while they're doing that, you'll probably just nail a couple of shots in their feet and they'll be downed or killed, one or the other, and it works almost 100% of the time. And even if you don't make it, you can just go crouch and just shoot them with a shotgun. But, as I said, most of the time it works even if you're prone. Now, as for some of the dirty hiding spots on the workshop, there's a couple that I've found really useful, and I absolutely have not seen anybody do this. So the trick to this is to try to climb on this desk right here, break these vases, and then just camp the corner right here. So once the enemy tries to push in, they will not look on the left. They'll try to look on this door right here and the enemies that are on their right. So once they try to go in and once they break the window, you can just blow their brains out once again and get an easy kill. Even if you lean on the left, they will not be able to see you, at least not clearly. As for the next hiding trick, the room that you'll be using is the map room or the workshop itself. So once you put the shield down, try to vault over it or just go over it while sprinting. And once you do that, try to go prone. And this will just put you right on the shelf itself. Of course, break these annoying bits because they'll just pose an obstacle to hide behind. So what you can do is you can camp the enemies that are trying to go through the window. Most of the enemies will be focused on the left or the right of the shield, but they will not be focused on the shelf itself. Also, try to put a shield as close as you can to the shelves itself, because even if you go prone right here, this will, prove a good protection part if the enemy is trying to push the other side or the door itself. Now also, there are a couple of spots that you can use for spawn peeking if the enemy is spawning on the tower, especially when you have Jaeger and his ACOG. So what you do is you try to put the shield as close as you can to the window and try to get the vault action. And once you do that, you will be able to snipe anybody who is trying to spawn from the tower, either from the left or from the right. So not a lot of people will be expecting that, and you can get an easy pick off on the enemies that try to do that. The same can be done from the master bedroom itself. So once you put the shield on the window itself, you can just go vault over it and wait for the enemies to go on the tower door. So once you get the vault option, just vault over the shield and wait for the enemies to push from the north side, and you will get an easy pick off with your ACOG weapons. Of course, if you are more defense oriented, what you can do is you can put the shield right next to this metal window. Of course, break the wooden part and try to put it as close as you can to it, but do not go far because you will not get the vault options. So try to go as close as you can. So the same logic applies to this as to the window. Once you get the vault option, you will be able to go on the metal window itself and go prone. So if the enemy's, like, let's say trying to push the hatch or the window, you can easily defend it. Or if they're trying to go on the door, you can get an easy pick off. That same vaulting trick can be applied to the storage room itself near the kitchen. So if you can, try to put the shield as close as you can to the box here. So once you get the vault option on the shield, try to get on top of it and press the crouch button and just go on top of the boxes themselves. This is a pretty neat spot to defend if the enemy is pushing the kitchen room. So if there's a barbed wire laid on that window right there, you can get an easy kill if the enemy is trying to go in. Of course, try to make the spot behind you as secure as you can and probably get a reinforcement or a castle wall, because you won't get any safety if the enemy is trying to push from the back. But yeah, this is a pretty neat spot to use with the vaulting shield trick. Also, there's a spot in the kitchen that I did miss, so try to get shield between the two tables. And once you get on the table itself, try to sprint over barrel. And once you do that, just try to make a hole onto the other side if you're trying to defend a window. It is a pretty neat spot because most of the enemies just look down and they do not look on the upper part of the wall. Of course, try to guard yourself from the other parts if the enemy's pushing, but this is a pretty neat spot to defend from. And now as for the two of my last spots where you can hide and just easily get the kill on the enemies, is on the A side on the workshop itself. So if you're playing bomb and it is important, you can go prone underneath the table and just wait for the enemies that are trying to push in. Just shoot them if they're trying to break the barricade itself. It is not easy to get noticed right here because most of the people just look at the door or the edges of the room, but they do not look underneath the table itself. So, you know, once they try to go in, spray down and get an easy kill. And as for the last spot of the day, this one is pretty neat if you're defending the stairs itself. So what you need to do is just whack these books or just try to shoot them down. They will disappear after a couple of shots. And wait for the enemies that are trying to push from the stairs. The catch with this spot is that you are not easily visible to your enemy because from their perspective, what they'll be aiming at is probably just the further corner of the wall right there, or just the counter where enemies might be. So they will not definitely spot you underneath that shelf right there. So if you're holding the angle, the chances of you getting a kill is probably 100%. So yeah, this is probably one of the better spots to pick if you're defending workshop room. So yeah, this is gonna be it for this video, guys. The Skyscraper was the map that you picked from all of the last video's votes. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Click the like button if you did. And if you didn't, well, you know what to do. Leave a comment down below in the comment section and tell me if you know some better spots on this map so you can share them with people so they can know them too. But yeah, tell me what map would you guys like to see next down below. And once the votes pile up, I'll probably make a video on that map too. So yeah, guys, I hope you'll have fun playing 6 Siege. So until the next time, goodbye.